After multiple pieces of evidence demonstrated that the fight was only a controversy-generating device, it was ultimately classified as a planned fight.
Streaming giant Netflix is being issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. TMZ reports the lawsuit is over streaming issues and a breach of contract. Thousands of viewers claim they had
They have some really ridiculous penalties, but that's not all. Mike Tyson's response to the judge's remarks has shocked a lot more people. The news of Mike Tyson's collapse caught some news reporters off guard as they were waiting to hear the results outside the court. The legendary boxer was consequently hurried from the court to receive medical attention. Eventually, the judgment's contents were obtained by a number of news outlets. It was observed that the majority of it merely provided monetary recompense to the fans who brought the complaint. Given that Mike Tyson had initially accepted the bout, this might have been the primary cause of his breakdown. In actuality, he decided to return to the ring in order to earn some cash for his family and himself.
It's amazing they got paid so much money for that, and I'm happy that he didn't get hurt. That was my fear, that it was going to be a real fight and he was going to get hurt.
He's still quick.
Oh yeah, he's still very quick. But you know, Mike had, he was...
It would probably not go well to ask someone like them to make certain financial concessions, particularly if they are 58 years old and have experienced a number of health issues recently. According to the judge's final ruling, the combatants settled the dispute by paying a specific portion of their fight proceeds, while
a lot of good things gonna come after this fight, but it must have to be Mike going back home with his family, with his loved ones, and health. In the end of the day, we just want to fight beat health and back home.
Mike Tyson's collapse after his fight with Jake Paul raised serious concerns about his health and recovery. Following the fight, Tyson was noticeably unwell, prompting his coaches to step in for him at the post-fight press conference while Jake Paul appeared alone. Tyson was immediately referred to a hospital for further evaluation after the medical team conducted post-fight tests. Despite reassurances from his coaches and a reputable news source that Tyson's injuries were not severe, the medical team decided that Tyson needed a thorough brain scan and other treatments to address the pain he was experiencing. Tyson himself admitted to feeling dizzy and fatigued, which led to the medical team's intervention. The situation prompted alarms regarding Tyson's safety, adding to growing concerns about his health, particularly in light of past incidents, including a recent ulcer attack in May and his earlier use of a wheelchair. Tyson's latest health scare has reignited discussions about his well-being and whether he has fully recovered from the lasting impacts of his boxing career. It has been established that Mike Tyson will need to remain in the hospital for the time being in order to prevent any unforeseen issues. A number of boxing professionals have harshly condemned the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations because of these iron buddies.
We are really proud of Mike, not just because he was 7 months of training for a man with 58 years old, but the way he trained for 7 months for this fight. He put his life to the side just to be in.
Before and after the fight, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul voiced strong complaints about the rules, but their grievances differed significantly from those of the boxing world. Many felt that Tyson, despite being a former world heavyweight champion, should never have been matched with Paul. Some believed the rules should have been more lenient in Tyson's favor, a view that upset numerous boxing fans and professionals. The fantasy surrounding Tyson's training sessions led some to believe a 58-year-old could still withstand punches, but reality struck hard. Tyson's age and exhaustion were evident, as he only landed 18 punches compared to Paul's 78, highlighting the mismatch and the limitations of his aging body. However, in response to the controversies following the fight, the Texas Regulatory Agency addressed the accusations. The regulates the state's combat sports, and combatants who are 36 years of age or older must undergo further medical testing. Tyson had to include positive EEG readings with his application because he was a combatant older than 36. Mange claims that he carried out the action in May. According to Mange, Tyson passed a pre-fight physical earlier in the day, according to the TDLR on Thursday. The TDLR noted in a statement that their staff's top priority is always the contestant's safety when they compete in the cage or ring. This contest is no exception. The former world heavyweight champion was among the oldest boxers to participate in an official professional bout at the age of 58. In effort to downplay the problem, Tyson has stated that you're only as old as you feel. However, on May 26th, he experienced what his representatives described as an ulcer flare-up while traveling from Miami to Los Angeles. The battle was postponed for 4 months due to the need for medical attention and a trip to the hospital, as the heavyweight fight is scheduled to take place at AN Stadium near. Was among the first to bring up the matter, pointing to Tyson's age and history of alcohol misuse as contributing concerns. Head trauma would increase the boxer's risk of developing a potentially lethal subdural hematoma, according to Hughes and May's article in The Conversation.
Just 4 guys in the corner, but it's a big group of people, and I'd like to express my gratitude for all of you guys. I come from Brazil. I broke a very.
Harvard Health states that a subdural hematoma is a potentially fatal condition because it can compress the brain and is caused by a blood vessel that bursts close to the brain's surface. I vomited blood after using the restroom. Prior to the fight, Tyson told Netflix about a documentary-style series. Before I know it, I'm lying on the ground. A bleeding ulcer measuring 2.5 inches was the cause of the trauma. Tyson, who gave the interview from a hospital ward, said that he is accustomed to dealing with health concerns. In recent years, he was seen in a music wheelchair at Miami International Airport in August 2022.
And it's just an honor to be able to fight him, and he's obviously the toughest, baddest man on the planet, so it was really tough, like I expected it to be.
Tyson claimed that while getting ready for the Paul fight, he experienced excruciating sciatica-related back pain, which was eventually resolved by surgery. Tyson once said that his intense training was making it difficult for him to walk. He told Netflix about his altercation with Paul while the cameras were running, saying, "If I do it badly, I don't want to die in a hospital bed, I want to die in the ring. Safety didn't seem to be an issue." He stated that he believes that because of the doubts surrounding the fight, ringside doctors are not as concerned about Tyson's health. He added that he is hesitant to discuss health dangers since he sees Paul as an entertainer as much as a boxer. He stated, "I think a lot of people aren't really screaming from the rooftops that this fight shouldn't happen with a 58-year-old guy, because there's just a lot of things going on here." Lou, a boxing promoter. In many states, it is quite difficult for an ordinary individual to obtain a fighting license. DeBella, 40, explained that a 58-year-old man in Texas is authorized to compete in a professional prize fight.
Are you the fighter that you were when you were the youngest heavyweight champion? Are you still that guy? Are you a different fighter, or do you still imagine you are what you were?
Well, no, I know.
Bryson Holden, the fight promoter, requested a sanctioned bout rather than an exhibition, even though the rules for the match are more commonly used for exhibitions. At the promoter's request, the TDLR agreed to 2-minute rounds rather than the traditional 3-minute rounds. The usage of 14 Oz gloves rather than the traditional 10 Oz gloves, which is frequently viewed as a concession to Tyson's age, was also authorized by the TDLR.
I love Mike, love to be around him, and I have a pleasure to with Mike for a long time, and I'm proud to be by this monster over here and the whole team. Mike Tyson.
Numerous boxing experts have lined up on both sides of the debate, despite the fact that the fight script has been a hot topic of conversation. Since then, there have been videos and stories circulating online suggesting that there may have been a pre-fight contract or script in place to decide the outcome as a professionally sanctioned B with a high level of spectator interest. These were wholly baseless.
Potentially some bleeding or extensive irritation on the lining of the stomach. In the best case scenario, this is just a little bit of heartburn, and on the worst case scenario,
Any such assertions are absurd when considering casual fans. Do you believe it was scripted, for example? You couldn't ask Mike Tyson to do that, and I don't think you should. It's absurd. Despite not being a fan of the matchup, then gave Tyson credit Mike tried. I have to give Mike credit. And actually, I'll be honest, when the fight was over, I did think to myself, it's pretty cool for Tyson to have done that for his kids to see him do that. He's gone through a hard training camp and done 8 rounds. Fair play to him. I didn't enjoy watching it, if I'm honest. I quite enjoyed the first 30 seconds when he was having a right go, but it was a spectacle. It was never going to be the fight of the century. I said my piece before. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but look what it created. You've got to acknowledge the commercial reality as well.
You've said about Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and you said, listen, I'm not going to watch that last fight, I'm going to walk out. Why?
Because I think it's just disrespectful to the sport. But I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch one of my...
I never lied to myself, but I know I'm good enough.